Welcome back to a Cloummunity episode. So, if you didn't already get the point, every other episode, we have a guest, and then every oh my god, I can't speak today. Every episode in between that, it's a Cloummunity episode. So, last episode we had a guest on just Clou, and this episode we have a new set of questions from the Cloummunity. Okay, so we're just gonna dive straight into it because I think the last episode we had, which was episode 2, you guys asked questions. You didn't really ask any juicy questions, so I hope you have some questions lined up today for me. Ready, get set, go.
How would your parents describe what you do?
It's so funny. I laugh because I think it was like 2 weeks ago, right? Where my dad came in here and was like, what does Crystal do again? So this is what it is. I love you, Dad. But it used to be, this is my daughter, Christelle. She does IT. And so I would literally be like so offended. Actually, I'd be so offended. I'd be so mad because I'm like, I felt like you didn't know. And so I learned to not take offense to it because it's like honestly innocent. Like my parents are way older, so they cannot grasp the idea of social media. Like my dad used to call like FaceTime Facebook, you know, like he didn't understand that. And then eventually like I would try to correct him and I'd be like, I do like social media or marketing or something like that. I think he still doesn't get it. So when I moved into film, he kind of got it because my producer, Mother Jane, would explain it to him that we'd make movies. And so movies is a little easier to understand, right? But when I told my mom I first wanted to go to film school, she was like, what? You want to be Karina Sanchez? I was like, film school, film, like not broadcasting on the news. So yeah, they have no idea. They don't know. They don't think I work, which I take offense to sometimes because especially when I was in Cebu, my mom was like, do you even work? Because then she didn't understand that I can bring my computer anywhere and work from anywhere, right? Until I kind of explained to them, like, no, like, I have so many clients. Like, I have so much work now. And it did come to a point where it's like, I don't call them, like, because I'm so busy. And then I felt bad about it because now they don't want to disturb me. And, like, say when my sister was hospitalized a couple months ago, because I'm always busy, they don't want to disturb my work. But they didn't tell me because they were like, we didn't want to, like, disturb you from work. And I was like, no, like those stuff are important. Like work can wait if like my sister's in the hospital. So yeah, I still think they don't know what I do. But they will maybe tell you like movies. At least it's not IT anymore. I mean, like no offense to anyone in the IT world. But like, yeah. Yeah. They don't know that I do social media.
Okay, next. If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Speak out. Like when someone tells you to keep something a secret, don't keep it a secret. That's what I would teach my child from day one.
Okay, miss, another question. What would be the title of the book about you if your worst enemy wrote it?
My worst enemy? I'm trying to think of my worst enemy and what they would say about me. I don't think I have any enemies. If my worst enemy wrote a book about Christelle, know it all.
Just know it all.
Yeah, probably. That's my evil laugh, by the way. Okay, go.
So, what do people misunderstand about you the most?
I'm like super sensitive. I think they take my sensitivity, or not they. I think people can take my sensitivity as a weakness. I have been called too sensitive in my lifetime, and I used to think it was a weakness also. So I think that's where the misunderstanding is. My sensitivity is my strength. And just because I get emotional doesn't mean I'm not okay. Like, I'm fine. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, like I think not just my sensitivity, but like my kindness is taken as a weakness sometimes. But because it is taken advantage of, and because I not forgive too easily, but I really have, yeah, and I don't feel not remorse. I don't hold grudges. So like you can commit the world's, don't do it, but even if you hurt me so much, like, I don't know one person. Okay, I know some people, but most of the people who I feel have hurt me, I've resolved, and they've come back around, and I'm okay with it. Like, I've been able to forgive them, as I hope they are able to forgive me too.
If you won $10 million tomorrow, what would you spend it on?
I would make my movie ASAP. Yeah, I would make my movie.
What
10
kind of
million though?
movies?
10
What
million is
kind
too
of
small for a
movies?
movie. 10 million USD? That's only one
Dollars.
episode. High
$10
high
million
prod?
dollars?
Yeah. Yeah. One high production episode can go up to millions. So I would make the pilot of my TV show. What's my TV show? It's called No Dates. Or maybe it's a movie. I haven't decided yet. Trademark, copyright. Oh no, I shouldn't have said that. Just kidding. I'll change it later anyway. No Dates, Abangan, 2026. And then this comes true ba? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Miss, what are some of your favorite hobbies, activities outside of work that help you relax and recharge?
Outside of work, I love to work. Oh no, I don't have hobbies. Guys, someone asked me this and I felt so ashamed. They were like, what are your hobbies? And I was like, I sleep and go to work.
Or any activity, Miss?
What are my activities? I mean, this is so sad. This is a dilemma. I have hobbies. Let me think really hard about yeah. Working on a Monday, working on a Tuesday. I think social. Okay, my hobbies are literally like seeing friends like in a social setting, like dinner. Is that a hobby? Oh no.
I like activity.
Activities?
How about the last time you went horseback riding?
Yeah. Lol. Oh, do I watch stuff? I love how the team's actually coaching me because it's like they know me better than I know myself.
Yeah.
I
I think Miss social media is your, parang
Hobby?
hobby and it is your passion, right?
no. Am I
No?
passionate about social media? I am definitely not. No.
Okay.
I think I'm more in a passionate sense, I'm passionate about like producing.
Yeah.
So I like project managing in a sense that I like the outcome. Like I like the process of creating content. But is it social media that I like? No. It's just social media is a platform, right? So I think passionate about like storytelling and video and film. I can definitely say I'm passionate about that. Although I don't watch movies as often as someone who says they're passionate about films. So I like the process of that. But even then, like I was thinking about, say when I travel, I'm not on my phone often. Like I don't remember, I'm not the type of person to remember to like take pictures of everything or take videos of everything. But if you tell me to like, I know what I'm passionate about. I like communication. Like in terms of like, if you give me bits and pieces of something, I will translate it to make sense for you. And I think I'm passionate about communication in the way that I also like feeling connection to clients, friends, and to be able to listen to them, to tell their story. So, yeah, I like hanging out. Yeah.
Next question. So,
Okay.
I know that we've talked about this before, but yung masasabi niyo po sa mga creatives na kung paano nila ma-handle yung creative block.
Okay. Do I believe in creative block is what I'm trying to think of right now. I know people say it doesn't exist, some people do, but I think it's true. But I think creative block is kind of when we just don't feel inspired. And sometimes that has to do with what you're going through or like just you're not in the mood. So for me, how I kind of battle that, it's like preventative, my approach. When I say preventative, it's like, say a day like today where I know I'm filming the podcast. Hours before or that morning, I will do like a visualization and listen to a meditation in the background to already psych myself out and to kind of like reprogram myself that that doesn't exist. So that's kind of how I battle it. Like I just know it won't come because I already preempt it. Like, I already erase it before it happens. So I do that on days that I know that are important. But say like on the go, on the fly, I have to come up with an idea like that, then I would probably step out and then breathe. Like, because ideas just come, I think. Huh? In the shower? Any time of the day. No, yeah, and it's true. Like, I tell you guys this because this morning, that's what I did. If I really have no ideas for something, like, I didn't know what was going to happen today. I don't know what I was going to say today, but I'm already programming myself to trust myself, basically. And I know that whatever's supposed to come out is supposed to come out, and whatever's withheld is supposed to be withheld. So that's how I handle creative block.
Okay. Okay, Miss, let's talk about balancing your personal and professional life. How do you balance your personal life with the demands of leading a media company?
I don't need a vacation from this life. It's pretty much what it is. Like, I feel like this is also when I play, is when I work. I don't really think of it as like I need to balance my work. Because when I am working, it does feel fun and it does feel like I'm actually playing sometimes. Of course, the professional side still comes in where I do feel the pressures of not just protecting our name and our company, but not messing up to our clients, for example. So when those times do come where I feel like I need to deliver, I just pull it together. And then I don't think I lead with an iron fist as a leader, and you guys tell me if otherwise, but I feel like, I don't know, am I different? Like, I do have a serious side though, and I think you guys have seen it. Like when I'm stressed or like when I'm like a deadline needs to be hit. But I'm never in general also the type to really get mad about anything, because I really truly believe that everything is at its own time. And maybe it's for this industry, right? So because it's not really life or death. Like, wow, if a social media post doesn't come out, the world's gonna end. Like, it's not like that in our industry. So for me, it's more of like, say we needed to schedule a post for yesterday. Let's give Clou as an example. Like we had a reel that was to be scheduled yesterday, and that wasn't ready. And so in my head, I was like, well, maybe it's not meant to come out yesterday and it's meant to actually come out today. So I kind of phrase it like that in my head. So I guess that's how I balance it. It's like, I just roll with the punches also.
So, we see you as this very spontaneous person.
Tell me more.
How do
How else do you see me? Just kidding.
So, as this spontaneous person,
Yeah.
how would you say the idea of starting a media production company was? Like, how was the process for you? Like, I mean, you said everything was like done and there in just one day, but what really went behind the scenes?
So that's true. Like the process of when I made Clou legit happened like a snap of a finger. Like honestly, like I just woke up and I was like, yep, I'm ready. But this has been an idea in my head for years. You know, it was like almost a desire that I secretly had and was not. And I say secret because I wasn't honest with myself and I didn't believe in myself that it was possible. But in the same way, I think that desire is the same desire I have known since I was in high school or middle school, that I was into media and entertainment. So, okay, entertainment, that's a side thing already because that's something still that's continuing to unfold these days. But with media production, say when I was in high school, if we had a project, before TikTok was even around, before social media was around, just kidding, I'm not that old, guys. Facebook was around, MySpace was around, Friendster was around. But if I had a project that was like written, I would always present it with a video. So like I found ways to download videos before. Like if I had a presentation on a certain topic, I would always include videos. And how it would be before was like I'd download videos from the internet and like actually take videos and taught myself how to edit. And so I was always interested in media production. And then when I was picking my college course, of course, I wanted to study, like, at first I think it was like graphic design I was going to go into, because that's what was more popular back then. Like, video wasn't as common of a medium. But never in my life did I think that I was going to go into movie making. Like, I just didn't think that was a possibility because it felt so far. But when I looked into the idea of media production and I decided to study media production, same. Like, I think I showed you guys last Friday, like, the first movies that I made, like, the first shorts that I made. But even then, through my first degree, I wasn't honest with myself to think that I didn't know what a media production company was. You know, I didn't know what that entailed. So it took me 2016 is when I finished college. And already, if I took anything away from college, it was branding. That was the initial thing. So with branding, 2016, I created my own brand that I never thought would be a business. So that's when Clou started. I showed you my first logo last Friday. It was not cute. But, you know, in my head, I was like, Clou Media. That's it. I called it Clou. No, it was called Clou Communications. I think I told you guys this before. Clou Media, whatever. I made my own branding to that. But I didn't ever think I would start my own business with that same name and make it an actual functioning business. So yeah, going into that, how it happened, that was your question, right? I guess it is true spontaneously. I think it took me kind of hitting rock bottom in my own personal life to erase that fear, whatever fear that was holding me back from starting something. Because it was when I felt I was in rock bottom, I was like, at this point, I really have nothing to lose, so might as well try. And it worked like that. I remember it very well. It was Halloween 2 years ago, and I was a wreck that morning. And I talked about this in the previous episode. I used to be very straight, like stuck up. Not stuck up, but like I used to be very focused on work, that I couldn't actually have fun. Or like I would have fun, but it was like I didn't know how to let go. So it was Halloween 2 years ago. That morning I was very sad and I was just very over life. And then that night we dressed up as Blackpink. My friends got us a group costume and then I dressed up as Lisa. That was when I was in my Drop My Money era of my life. And then I just decided that night that I was going to have so much fun and get so drunk. So I did. And I woke up very, very hungover. Sorry, mom and dad. But yeah, it was from that moment, could not move the day after, to be honest. Like, that was probably the most drunk I've ever been in my life. But that day, the whole day I stayed in bed. Saturday, Sunday. Monday was a holiday. So I got to rethink my life that day. Tuesday, because back then we would have board meetings for work every Monday. But that day was held on a Tuesday. Tuesday, I came into work and I was just like, I'm not going to tell anyone. I'm just going to do it. It's like I died and rose again. Honestly, that's how it felt. Like, it's just like I felt like a part of me died. And that part of me that died was the one who was fearful and afraid of whatever life could be. And then that day, I registered it as a DTI and then didn't tell anyone. When that passed, I think it was like 2 weeks later, when it was official, that's when I shared it to my family. I was like, oh guys, by the way, I have a business. They were all like, okay. And like, even when I started Clou, not that I think anyone doubted me. Maybe they did, but I didn't really doubt me. But I just didn't, no, that's a lie also, because I imagined it to be where it is today. So I think it's more of, I really believe in speaking it into existence. And I'm just going with the flow. Yeah, so I think spontaneously also, like, Clou's become what it's become. But when I first started it, I remember so many people not understanding what I did, which, like, came with a lot of criticism. But now people get it more, hopefully, because social media has been very necessary for our businesses. And B, like, everybody's creating content now. Like, we hopped on this podcast before a lot of people did, and now everyone's wanting to start a podcast, which I love because it's actually allowing people to be more confident in speaking out, even if nobody's listening. And even that, like, there used to be so much shame around, like, And that's why shout out to all the original bloggers and vloggers, because imagine years ago to be on the street in public and like with a camera, like how much judgment do these people get? And I've judged people doing that also, you know, but like it does take in a sense bravery to put yourself out there and to be like, I don't know, tube girl, to do that in a public space and to know that people are casting judgment onto you, but you're doing it anyway. And like, look at her. Who's the one making money now? Like, you know what I mean? Who's the one actually getting those brand deals? So that's my long answer. I don't know if I answered your question, to be honest. Did I?
Yes. So, as the founder of Clou, could you share with us a memorable moment, like just one moment,
Of
and
what?
you'd say would really shaped how Clou is today?
Yeah, you know, I think it was actually like this time last year, or like I could say this time, like November maybe of last year, where I was gonna close Clou. And I don't think I've ever told you guys this. Yeah, so I was so over it, honestly. Like, I had a few clients already at that point, like maybe 15 or something like that, under 20 clients. But I remember I left for the States, and then I kind of was like, I don't need to be doing this, you know? Very straightforwardly. I live a comfortable life. And if I wanted to, I can just be traveling and just not doing this, because business comes with a lot of stress also. Like dealing with clients comes with a lot of stress. And I was really just like, is this even worth the money? You know, at the end of the day, when I don't feel like I need to be, not that I was suffering also, guys, but like, you know, I don't feel like I need to put myself through this stress if I wanted to take the easy route. And so, yeah, and I think at that point also, you guys know Mish. So that's why it was also very essential, her coming into my life, because I really did pray for her. Because at that point, I was taking on too many roles with social media. So I was doing everything beyond what our basic package allowed, because I didn't know how to say no to client. So I was really like, I need someone to come in and help me manage my life, because it was becoming too much for me. And I couldn't say no, like I said. So I was like, I think by the end of the year, this was November of last year, like, I think by the end of the year, I'm just gonna like close Clou, like, cool, I tried. And then what happened was, because I was one of, I think there were still very few social media specific agencies, or not agencies, but social media people in Cebu. And a catalyst to all of that was a few other social media agencies popped up. And then my ego got in the way. I was like, nope, I'm going to stay around because I can be better. Like, I can still do better. And I'm not done here. I was like, I refuse to let my haters see me fail. In quotation, okay? Like, I don't think I actually had haters. But that was a moment where I was like, just kidding. I have a big ego, so I can't quit. But in a weird way, I'm so glad that happened, that competition came up, that because that's what made me realize, like, no, I still want to do this. And I still know I can do it better. So that's when I also, was it December of last year? When did you start, Mikey? December, right? Okay, maybe it was in December last year. November 2 years ago. Yeah, no, it was before I moved. No, it was before I moved to Manila. Yeah, so that was the year before. So yeah, that was definitely a turning point for me. Yeah.
So you think moving to Manila really affirmed your
Super.
commitment to Clou?
Yeah, because then that happened November, December. January, I was like, okay, I'm going to still do this. I moved to Manila June. And so when I moved on June, I think being in Manila also helped Clou grow more, because I didn't hear the noise. Noise in a sense where in Cebu, I was hearing so much criticism. I was hearing so much feedback that was really unnecessary. And then when I moved here, I can stay in my own lane. Like especially for like, there was a time where I would just hustle so hard. Now I can honestly say like I can relax. Like there are times where I'm not doing anything and I'm okay with that. But there was a time, and I think you guys felt it too at one point, maybe not Colleen, but there was a time where like it was eat, sleep, breathe Clou for me. Like I didn't have 1 second, and that's the time where I like realized I didn't see my friends for like 3 or 4 months, and that's when I realized I was like, oh my god, maybe I should get a dog. That's why I got Benny. So because I was just working so hard because I had something to prove, right? And when it was coming from a place of I had something to prove to all these people, like I'm glad that not glad, but I believe that it had to happen that way. But this came out of nowhere for people, I think. But this podcast, for example, is always something I wanted for myself for years, secretly, in quotation, right? Because it was a secret because it was only in my head. But it's like that. Like, while I was in Manila, I was able to really just do work, and like focus, and then just put out the content. And it's like whatever people are saying, if people are saying good things or bad things, or actually if people are saying nothing at all, I don't really care because I'm putting content out and it's something I want to do. So yeah, I'm definitely grateful that Manila also led me to my Manila team and my Cebu team also. Shout out to the Cebu team because you're just as important. That's Clou. Okay, so we're gonna start with first impressions of when you guys first met Christelle a couple months ago versus
Yes,
Christelle now. Okay, so we're gonna start with first impressions of when you guys first met Christelle a couple months ago versus
miss.
Christelle now.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to hear this. What's your first impression
like,
of me?
Tayo answer.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That first day when Mikey was in Ori Cafe.
Ori Cafe.
Yeah.
The first day na na-meet ko si Miss. Yeah, actually, nakaka-proud to see kung ano yung, like kung gano'n na nag-grow yung Clou. Kasi nung first na na-meet ko si Miss, at pumasok ko sa Clou, I remember Miss parang 18 accounts, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 18
less than 20.
accounts.
Yeah.
Less than 20. And umabot tayo sa point na like mag-30.
38. Yeah, it was like 38 at max.
38.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, ayun. Siguro, Miss, I have a question na kasi nung first akong ma-hire sa inyo and then nag-usap tayo dun sa meeting room sa Wood Lane. And then nagsabi kayo nung story nyo and then I would like to know lang, Miss, siguro din sa iba na parang how did you handle those criticism? And masasabi nyo po ba ngayon na parang you've already moved on and recovered sa mga noise around?
I think that I was affected by the criticism because I wasn't okay with myself.
Okay.
And I think it doesn't affect me anymore because I feel very secure in who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So it's only true if I believe it's true, So a part of me wasn't that confident. I was like, maybe it's true what they're saying. And that's why I was affected. But I know now that it's not true. So, or that's a lie. Because they called me extra. They were like, why is she so extra? Why is she only posting about herself? I was only posting about myself. How are you supposed to start a business? I had no clients yet. So how am I supposed to advertise? I was my best advertisement because of my own credentials, my own degree. Clou is my name. So obviously, Yeah, and I don't know why in hindsight, like it hurt me so much when like I was called extra, but like I am. And that's who I am, and like I don't think being extra is a bad thing anymore. So yeah, I think maybe I don't really feel as affected of criticism. Because I really don't hear it anymore. I don't surround myself. Well, I don't know. It just hasn't come to me. So even if maybe people really aren't saying anything, and maybe it's like going back to like, I think I've mentioned this in like one of our thinker episodes, where my therapist pretty much told me, like, Christelle, the voices that you hear are loud. It's not your audience, because your audience are the people who are staying silent, and you're inspiring your audience to speak out. So keep speaking out, because you're not hearing them because they're silent. And I think that's what keeps me going. Yeah.
I'm really proud, Miss, na I'm really here until now, that I made the right decision to stay until I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, I know that. I know. Every time someone leaves, I'm like, it's okay. You're not really leaving. You'll be back.
Yeah, but anyway, the first time that I saw Miss Christelle, I was actually starstruck. Yeah, Miss, like influencer.
My
You look like
influencer with 1,000 followers.
Yeah, because she was so dressed up and very prepared, but you would really see na she's so like maybe stressed
Yeah.
during that time. Miss.
I'm trying to think of when I
It
met
was
you.
like
Was it in person or on Zoom?
No, in person, Miss. The first my first day here in Clou.
Ah, yeah. It was
Yeah.
just you and Mikey, right?
Yeah, it was. I'm actually the second employee here in Manila team.
Yeah.
So it was Mikey and me only, and we didn't have an office yet.
Yeah, we were like homeless.
Homeless.
We'd hop.
Yeah,
we'd
we're like
hop from-
NPA, no permanent address.
Yeah, we'd hop. We'd hop from table to table, or like
Mhm.
seat to seat, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah. So she was so dressed up, but you would really see that she's like in a hurry at all the time.
Because that was a peak of when Clou was growing so fast, I think.
Yeah, I think so too, Miss.
Yeah.
And you didn't have much time to talk to us in this kind of setting. It was maybe we're still getting to know that time, and it was of course understandable.
Yeah.
But there was a difference already when we started working in one table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it made a lot of difference.
I know you guys thought for so long that I didn't eat, because you guys never saw me eat.
And drink water.
And drink water. I still don't drink water, to be fair. Have you ever seen me drink water? No, I drink coffee.
Yeah. So, looking at now, Miss, I don't know, maybe there's a lot of difference in
Yeah.
you now, that there's a different glow. I'm not saying it just because it's here in podcast,
yeah.
okay? But
Yeah.
I hope that you see it in yourself, because we see it, I see it,
Yeah.
na you really care about a lot of things, but you don't forget
I told myself
about
I'd never
us.
cry on camera. Stop it. Yeah. Okay, and then.
Are you gonna cry?
Yeah. Oh no! Okay,
Oh,
keep
no.
talking. Okay, go. It will dry up. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Miss. Because I know,
Oh,
in some cases, you would really
Oh,
feel
no.
na how
My
to
makeup.
handle everything.
Yeah.
But maybe you can.
I know. I don't want to
use
destroy
the
my
cloud.
white t-shirt. Okay, that's funny. Okay, go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I really appreciate that you give us a lot of importance, and I feel it. I know.
Yeah.
I'm really sure that they also feel it, because I think
Yeah.
that's Clue. I think
Yeah.
that's the essence of Clue. That we all have different roles here, but you treat us equally. And that's
Yeah.
really important in us as a whole being. So thank you, Miss.
Yeah. No, I think because I mean that's always what I wanted to communicate. Like that's what I wanted to happen. That's what I wanted our culture to be. But because at one point I probably felt unimportant, and that's why I started Clue. Also, right? Because it was coming from a place where I felt like I was in the lowest of my life. So I never want someone to feel like they're not important or they're not wanted. And that doesn't matter to me, like in what aspect, because I know that business relates to personal. And yeah, like I think it was in my early Same. Like I used to always call it my mentor in old episodes, but like I've done a lot of work being like in therapy, and my therapist told me the same thing. This was the same therapist that told me about what I said earlier, but she was basically also helping me find my worth again. And in that, she was telling me like, Christelle, everything hurt stems from the feeling of not being enough and shame. And so I asked her basically one day, I was like, what am I fighting for? Like, what am I working so hard for? Like I mentioned earlier, like there are times I want to just stop doing this because I'm like, it's not about the money for me, you know? But also now I realize I'm like, I think we still need funds. Yeah. Yeah. So like, I'm like, okay, maybe I gotta make it a little bit about the money. But like, but there was a point where I was just like, why am I working so hard? Like for what? You know? And then she was telling me, she was like, Crystal, whether you know it or not, you're fighting for other people to feel like they're enough. And in this case, it's just through your company. It's through your employees first and who you inspire in a workspace. And so that's why I always say, if I can start with you guys, it doesn't matter who else listens or who else is inspired or not, because that's why I'm here, you know? Yeah, to make money.
So, Miss, aside from Clou being like a community, so I think also it helped us, ako personally, Miss, professionally, because after ko mag-work, I started here. It opened a lot of opportunities and also clients.
Yeah.
Comparing yung dati na mahirap talaga maghanap ng clients, but because of Clue and also
Yeah.
yung mga na-improve ko, you can see a lot of difference.
Yeah.
Talaga. So, I'm really grateful kasi like before, yung desire ko talaga is to be like and then yung alignment sa creative side. But because nasa corporate ako, ang hirap maghanap ng job na kailangan hindi i-consider yung experiences mo. And si Clou, nagbigay siya ng opportunity sa akin. Even though, like, my portfolio back then, Miss, hindi siya super established. And you know that,
Yes, I
Miss.
remember.
Yeah, and so I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. So, nung interview, I didn't expect talaga, Miss. Kasi, like sa IG, you can really see, Miss, yung creativity talaga nandun. And then, I didn't expect, Miss, na parang sa interview, talagang we're really connected.
Mm-hmm.
Yan. And I'm so grateful, Miss.
Aww,
And now
yeah.
it's, parang, ngayon, you can like, you know, alam ko na yung value ko and nakakapag-demand ka na, like before, talaga hindi. So, I'm really grateful. Thank you, Miss, and thank you, Clou.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was always okay. Like, I was like, add it to your portfolio. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the sense where loyalty comes from. And I think that's what our generation struggles with a lot. Staying with a company because they don't feel connected, right? And so I always say from the very start with you guys, like, I want to see you guys grow, whether that's with Clou or without us, right? But I want you to leave from here feeling like you've grown somehow. And then like it's like make an impact on the world. But at least I know I'm still a part of that impact because I made an impact, or Clou made an impact on you. But it's like that. It's like loyalty in the sense of like that too with Queen. It's like, go pursue your other passions. And like with you, like that's why I allow you guys and I actually help you guys pursue your other businesses, like, and I always ask you, like, no, what is it you really want? Because if that opportunity comes by me, I will give that opportunity to you, you know? Or like, it's like, because if your heart's not in it, it's like, if you truly want to be something else or like pursue something else, why would I hold you back selfishly with Clou? That's selfish to you. That's also selfish to my company because I'm like, I don't want someone who's in it, who's not fully in it, you know? And like, I'd rather keep the relationship with you guys like that, because one day if you decide, hey, I'm actually interested, or like I want to come back, then if the opportunity and if the space is there, then I'll allow that space. Yeah.
Okay, that leads me to my experience with Clou, because when I found Clou, it was during my back-to-back job hunting.
Yeah.
Like, so I had back-to-back interviews and all. But then when we had the interview with Clou, the last person to interview was you, Miss.
Yeah.
And then
That
During
interview was so
that
funny. That
interview.
interview process. Yeah. Yeah.
that was the only time I felt good after an interview wherein you actually ask my interest, what I want, what I do in my life, so you would know which account to assign me. So that made me feel like heard, like you're really interested to know about your employees, and that you really care for us. So I'm really thankful that I got the job during that time, and that um I was the one picked,
Yeah.
and that I've entered this community today.
Aw, yeah, I mean, it's so important to me. I always ask you guys, like, what your interests are. Because, like I said, like, I mean, I do believe that you also need to do the work in terms of, like, even for me, I had to go through stuff that I actually wasn't interested in. There's still some accounts that I'm not really interested in. But it's like, you gotta do it and you gotta find. That's why when those times happen, I look to client story, because then that's where I bite. Because I'm like, even if I'm not interested in your product or your service, I'm interested in the client story. And it's like, I'm helping the client because they have this business to provide for a child, or like to provide, but because, you know, like that's what makes me want to work and do the work. It's not because of the actual product, but it's like, I want to help this client make money or like pursue their passion, or like, yeah. Are we running off super time? Okay, go. Because we still have
So
questions.
far.
Go, Michiko.
Hi.
It's me.
Hi.
No, you are not the problem. Yeah.
So for my experience as a provincia girl coming to Manila
Yeah.
and then drastically changing my life this year, I think there's no better job as a start job than Clou. Because like from the first interview, we met via
On Zoom.
Zoom.
Yeah. Mhm.
when and the process was really fast for me, that even me, I couldn't comprehend what was happening at that time,
Yeah.
because it was like interview, then the next week you come in and then you meet everyone, and then
That was the biggest interview round. That, yeah. Because that was a Barbie ad.
yeah,
Right?
that was the
We had
Barbie
so many
ad.
applicants that Barbie ad. Yeah.
And it's just so weird. Like I was just looking through my Instagram stories, and then I see this Barbie ad. And I'm like,
What a feeler.
Yeah,
Puts
like-
herself in a Barbie poster. That was mine and Mikey's idea, by the way. Right? I remember that. Yeah.
And then like that ad was specifically targeted to people in Las Piñas, and I
Mhm.
just moved a month before. So I don't know. Maybe it's destiny that I'm here. Timing, God's perfect timing that I'm here. But like, yeah, for me, I believe that everything does happen for a reason. And initially, I didn't believe in myself that much. Like, I knew certain things. I knew a little bit of graphic design. I knew a bit of editing. I knew how to take photos and how to like make something look good. Like, but then here, I feel like every day is a learning process for me.
Mhm.
I learn from others, they learn from me, and like within all of that learning and all work, quote unquote work, there's this community that goes beyond that work. Like
Yeah.
we talk about things that no other companies wouldn't.
I know. I'm
Like-
so like, I'm like, sometimes I really think like maybe I should have a filter. 'Cause, like,
and I keep saying,
Yeah.
TMI, but
yeah, like,
you're like,
I,
it's not
Yeah.
TMI.
yeah.
Just a group of women supporting women, as cliche as that sounds.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, it's I think people supporting people, because everybody is looking to be heard and seen. Everyone wants to feel important. Maybe not everyone. No, I think everyone. Yeah, because everyone wants to feel like they have a purpose, you know? And if your purpose is like, if you're ignored, like nobody wants to be ignored. And I think everyone deserves to be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I see you guys grow every day too, and that's the thing. Like, I came into this obviously, and I think I discussed this in the previous episode, knowing how to do everything on my own. And I was very self-sufficient in that sense, where like until today, I still don't, I don't know if it's a skill or if it's just a personality thing, but if I really commit to learning something or doing something, I know that there's nothing I can't do. So yeah, like with this whole social media process, I know how to do it, you know? But now there's so many things that you guys are teaching me. Because there's so many things I don't actually know. And you know, and because of you guys also, we're able to better our content for our clients. Like, we're able to better the process with our clients also, because then it's like I can focus on building that relationship with them, finding other clients. Because before, it's like my energy was like divided. It was like I had to focus on creating content and then jump to finding a client and then jump to this other thing. So now the quality of our work is way better. Yeah. And I'm super grateful for you guys.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
So, Miss, what do you feel now that you've heard a lot of our first impressions and realizations and everything? What would you feel now?
I am so happy. Like, it is validating. Because I think even if you have told me before, I mean, not this completely. Even if I kind of know that, of course, we have this going for us and we have impact on each other, it's so different if you actually say it to my face, uninterrupted. Like, I think that's why it makes it more meaningful. And in the same way, I think that's a very good exercise because sometimes for everyone, like, to give someone compliments straight up, some people feel awkward about it, but sometimes we need to hear it. You know, like, we need to hear what's good, what our strengths are, and everything like that, because it is validating, I think. Like, we want a pat on the back as people, I think. So, yeah, makes me feel really good. Thanks, guys! That wraps up this episode of the Cloummunity. Thank you for listening. And thank you guys for sharing also. Bye!